your amphibious landing, when you jumped over the side of the Higgins boat, you have a Japanese pillbox, you know, with a 15 caliber machine gun trained on you, and as soon as you go over, you're in the water, between the water and the beach. That must like take forever.
Yeah.
You know, just time stopped during that period of time, you know. And
but like, you know, going in like that, you know, hey, 19 years old, you see an arm here, leg, I'm like, holy shit, you know. But like I said, you had to do it.
yeah.
But once you get past a certain area, where you get over, the water was up to here on us. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So we made it in, thank God today, and we secured the island, but then as you secure the island, you got to go in further and get the pillboxes.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they were doing, they were up in the mountains shooting down at us. There's no way to get at them. But you know, you devise a lot of methods. Go around, get them back at them, you know, stuff like that there. That they had movies with the Japanese pillboxes, and it's as good as they are soldiers, they stunk for the simple reason when they made these pillboxes, they made them so the machine gun were just firing straight, no fire.
We started blasting them out of their rat holes with satchel charges. By H+1 hour, we had a combat intelligence center operating, but we couldn't locate anybody for intelligence to talk to. They wouldn't come out alive. Medics brought casualties down to the beach while we went on burning and blasting, extending the beachhead. And for every letter that went out, 6 other guys came in. As soon as we had a good toehold, landing craft started delivering in back of us, building up an ammo dump. The Japs were still on high ground to the northwest, with mortars. They hit the dump. We saved most of it.
These generals want to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be the first ones. Didn't work out. You know, like, you know, when you go down the shore and you're shooting pin ducks, that's what it was like.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, the help of God, we made it. And after the island was secured, you take inventory, you get back to the ship. And we went back to New Zealand. That was our home base.
Okay.
Each division had a home base.
That's all we knew. We'd have even been glad to see a Kapu sign if it were standing on dry land. Every man with a cabin to himself. Picture of a guy getting fixed up to go to a concert. But it never made you stop wondering where you were going.
Limeys, that's what it's at. Good liberties, you know.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you see like the John Wayne movies, you see little spots that you recognize, you know.
Yeah.
And go back there, regroup, replace the guy that got killed, and what was that? Then we went to Saipan.
Saipan.
That was next.
Yeah. Probably one of the more.
Man, it wasn't no picnic.
Yeah.
When the historians, they say one of the worst. They were all worse.
Right.
There's none one better than the other one, you know? You want to survive. So you go back, regroup, replace the ones that got killed, and when the ship's going back to Saipan.
Our third objective was Saipan in the Marianas, an island shaped like a pistol. By now, everything was down to a formula. The Navy and Air Corps softening them up. Then, on the night of June 15th, 1944, our third campaign began. This was the big one. No one spoke. Every man was tense, but ready. On the beach, we regrouped and prepared to move in again. This time, the whole gang was in on it. The 105th, 106th, and the 165th regiments. Artillery. Engineers. Signal Corps. Ordnance. Everyone. Floating reserves, they called us. We floated all right into Saipan across fields of sugar cane. Our tanks rolled ahead. And by morning, we had taken over from the Marines.
When you're in a foxhole, a lot goes through your mind. Do we really need this island? Is it necessary? Well, we needed the airfield.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing in the Pacific Islands.
Yeah.
Airfields. So security airfield, so the big guys could come in with their planes. So Saipan, we took a beating too. What happened there? What I want to say? Oh, we're going in second or third week, and you know, artillery was rough. But, you know, where are they coming from? The mountains, we hit artillery opened up to try to get them out. Mm-hmm. But where are they coming from? We never knew it. By chance, till this day, I don't know. What the Japs did, they made, say like this floor here, right? They made a gully just enough that you could lay in it, but you got enough room to get out and go. If they had a pillbox, you gotta fight your way out in your target.
Right.
So then, when we found out, they had these little, we call them coffins, and that's how we got into it. But as you went along, you found a lot of stuff that, you know, we never knew about. And this is one that we never knew about. They're even with the ground. And we said, where the hell are they coming from? Yeah, You're walking right over them, you know.
Right.
So, you know. Then
They had caves as well on Saipan, right? There's a big cave system as well as a hill that the Japanese control, and then when we would bomb them, they'd retreat into the caves and come back out. You know, crazy.
See now, the newspaper clippings that I have in the book,
Right.
that have the islands, has got the one where they're jumping over the cliffs, committing suicide.
Right.
Because they said the Japanese, the Americans are going to rape and kill and this and that.
Yeah.
So rather than go, they kill themselves, they kill the babies and everything.
These were civilians, right?
But you know, we took prisoners, we fed them, we give them, you know, misconception.
Yeah.
So we secured the island. Then after Saipan, well, Tinian was the base they really wanted, all planned. Tinian was the base for the B-29s.
Gotcha.
It was like a hop, skip, and a jump.
Right.
And we had to secure that. But Tinian was Long Island, but like I said, you got to take it. All right. And we secured Tinian. And that was it about that.
After Saipan, what? After you guys secured Saipan, we have 2 back-to-back islands. Now we're within bombing distance of Tokyo, right? So, and we have been kicking the Japanese butt from the Southern Pacific all the way up, right? Making our way up towards Tokyo. So now, after Saipan, did you go back to New Zealand after Saipan?
Come back to the ship again.
Okay.
And
Because those battles were, Saipan was in June.
stepping stone to Iwo Jima.
Right. And then you had Saipan in June and then Tarawa in July.
Right.
Right?
But then you had a lot of little islands in between
Okay.
that you don't read about.
Gotcha.
Now, when the war was over, hey, everybody rejoicing, yeah, but the war was not over because that was the last Japanese stronghold on Okinawa. That was a bloody battle. But you had like Petaloo, small islands, like mom and pop stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you had to take them.
Not much resistance,
No.
but still had to be done. Yeah. By then, the Japanese were, they were definitely knowing they were losing, the war against us because we were knocking on their back door and had already bombed them from, a carrier. So
They knew they had lost the war.
So it was. I'm not going to be taken prisoner. I'm either going to die or go kamikaze.
Same thing on Okinawa. They had kids. They had old people. I got the paper about Okinawa. The last resort, they wouldn't surrender. And it was a bloody battle, believe me. I'm glad we didn't hit that island. But what's got to be is got to be.
Yeah.
My brother, he was on Iwo Jima.
Wow.
And like I said, I never knew where he was at. No, you're right, but that's the limit of what you can do.
So he was an infantry marine on Iwo Jima.
He was with the 4th Division.
Wow. And you were with the 2nd Division, right?
Well, a lot of men were transferred, like from the 4th to the 2nd, as backup and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Actually, you're not in a position where you can say, I'm in the 2nd Division. No. Today you're here, tomorrow you're there. It gets to be a ping pong thing,
They shuffle you around where they have the need, right?
They're not going to bring new men in.
Yeah.
So, like I said, he was on the Iwo. He was a flamethrower. And I never knew this. I'm saying to myself, he joined the Marine Corps, the worst outfit at that time. And out of all the jobs he had was a flamethrower. And I forget what wave he went in on. He got hit. But how can I phrase it? It was a mortar shell. The blast picked him up off the ground. Didn't hit the tanks.
Hippie.
I mean, before they hit the tanks, should have been splatters,
Right.
So they evacuated him. And the funny thing was we were on Saipan, and his ship was going back to the States, hospital ship. I never knew he was on there. You're like, you don't know where you're at.
Right.
You don't know if your brother's here or there.
Sure.
You know?
You're not getting any news. There's no internet. There's no cell phones.
All right.
Yeah.
But then we come home, he got a medical discharge, and he got talking. Well, I didn't press the issue, like, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. I let him open up when he wanted to.
Sure.